Smile, me, chat, join for networking.
Well, good afternoon, and today I want to talk to you guys about TMD, which stands for Total Market Domination. Now, we've actually put together a 3-step plan that we use to achieve this, and I want to go through that with you guys. Does that sound good? Yeah, fantastic. Well, before we get started, do you mind if I tell you a little bit about myself? Thanks for the enthusiasm. Well, about 4 years ago, I was running an entertainment company. I was struggling, to be honest. I was only on about 15 grand a year, and I wasn't in a particularly great place. After implementing this plan, fast forward 4 years, I'm now running 4 separate businesses. We've got 50 members of staff working for us in the field and in the office as well. And our turnover is over £1 million a year. So I don't know where you guys are. You might be doing much better than that. I don't know. But I want to go through the 3 steps of what achieved the success for me. Does that sound good? Yeah. Fabulous. Okay, so 3 steps. Step number 1 to total market domination is positioning. And what I mean by positioning is where you position yourself in the market. Now, there's sort of 3 different categories that people fall into. The first category of people you might want to market to are what we call the cheapest. Now, these are the people that want to pay the minimum amount of money, and they're not really bothered about the quality of the service that they get. They just want it the cheapest, hence the name. That's the first market. The second are what we call value for money. Now, the value for money guys, they're the people that are they want a good quality service, but they want to get it at value for money, they want to get it at a good price. So if we were going to sort of compare these to maybe sort of clothes shops, these guys would shop at Primark, and these guys might be shopping at somewhere like River Island, to give an example. And then the final group of people are what we call premium. Now, the premium market, they're the people that want the absolute best. These are the guys that, shop at Gucci or wherever. They want the absolute best. They don't really care what it costs. They're happy to pay extortionate money just as long as it is the absolute best product available. Now, you need to decide which of these sorts of market sectors you want to market your product to. Now, I mentioned earlier we've run 4 different businesses. I'm going to compare a couple of them now, our 2 entertainment companies, and talk about which sort of market sector we actually go for. So first one I want to talk about is our children's entertainment company called Non-Stop Kids Entertainment. Now, Non-Stop Kids, as I mentioned, is a children's entertainment agency. We've got a very large team of entertainers. We perform at about 5,000 shows a year. We hold contracts with some really big clients such as Alton Towers and Cadbury World. And obviously it's going very, very well. And we want to book in as many different parties or as many different events as possible. So have a guess which market we go for with Non-Stop Kids Entertainment. Any ideas? Value for money. Value for money, that is the one, because we want to book in as many parties as possible. So we want to go after the biggest market. You see, value for money, that is the biggest market. In fact, the value for money market makes up about 68% of the market. So it's the largest market. That is the one that we go after. The other company that we've got, it's an entertainment company, is called Slightly Unusual. Now, Slightly Unusual is a little bit different because I actually perform in Slightly Unusual. You see, with Non-Stop Kids, I run the business, I don't go out and perform. With Slightly Unusual, I actually do perform. Therefore, you know what they say, time is money. So whenever we do a show for Slightly Unusual, I actually have to go and do it. So I want to get paid as much as possible for my time. So has anyone got any ideas which ones we might... Premium, exactly. Now, premium is the smallest. Premium makes up just 7% of the market. But if it's your time, or if you're wanting to do less work for a higher paid price, premium is the absolute market to go for. Now, if you are going to target the premium market, really, really important that everything about your company, your website, your logo, how you answer the phone, everything that you do has to be premium. Now, the first thing that we did when we decided we wanted to go into the premium market, because we didn't used to. We used to sort of target the value for money, and we said, no, let's change that. We've only got so much time. We've got all these businesses that we're running. We're running around like idiots, driving all up and down the UK, doing things like holiday parks for Haven and things like that. We want to forget that. We want to target the premium market. What shall we do? So, first thing that we did is we thought, well, most magicians do card tricks. So we're not going to do card tricks, we're going to do an illusion show. We're going to do the big grand illusions where you saw a woman in half. You don't get that much anymore because it's really expensive to start up. But we wanted to do something that made us stand out from the crowd for our premium market. That was the first thing that we did. As well as that, we spent about 2 years running around just trying to gather what we call social proof. Now, social proof would be things like getting on TV, and we've been on ITV, we've been on Sky, so we were applying to loads of TV shows, applying to talent shows, anything we could think of that might get us a chance to stick some quotes or some photos or TV footage and all that sort of stuff on our website, so that when these premium clients came along and they were flicking through different magicians' websites, they were like, whoa, these guys look good, they've been on ITV, they've been on Sky. Ken Dodd said they were really funny. True story. All these things that make us stand out from the crowd so that we can attract this premium market. Now, I'm going to be honest, I've never tried to do a business that's targeted the last sector, the cheapest, which makes up about 25% of the market. These statistics, by the way, these will change from industry to industry, but this is kind of the rough sort of average. Problem with the cheapest is that you're always competing on price. Which means that if someone comes along and undercuts you, it doesn't really matter what you do, they're cheaper than you. They're going to shop with them instead, or they're going to buy from them or use them instead. So it's not something I've ever really targeted. Also, I think you'll find with the cheapest people, you get a lot more hassle, a lot more complaints, and it's just a bit of a pain in the ass. So unless you're selling something where you've got masses of bulk stock that you can sell crap loads of, I probably wouldn't recommend going after the cheapest market. So that's kind of the first point. You need to know where you're positioning yourself in the market. That's kind of the first point. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yes, good stuff. Okay, so we're going to look at now number 2, which is who. So once you know which sort of market sector you want to go after, who is in that market sector? Who is it that you're marketing to? Who are your potential clients? Well, again, we'll use Non-Stop Kids as an example. So, who are in this market for Non-Stop Kids? Well, I can tell you, we've done sort of research on all our customers, and pretty much all our customers, first of all, are women. Don't know why, but men just don't book children's entertainment. Just doesn't seem to happen. Pretty much everyone's a woman. So all our marketing has to be designed for women. Secondly, they're all women that are aged between about 25 and 40. Everyone that books us is aged in that sort of group there. Thirdly, they're all moms. So they're all moms who are aged between 25 and 40, who are obviously women. We're not after this market, so everyone that books us tends to be having a household income of about 30 grand plus. So that really, really narrows it down. We know we're after this market, we know we're after women, we know they have to be 25 to 40. We know that they're moms that have got children between about the age of 4 and 8. Then you want to think to yourself, so where would they look? Where would a mom that's got 4 to 8, or where would they look? What would they do? Would they go on Facebook? Well, yes, there's a very good chance that they would. So we put marketing material on Facebook. Would they look on the internet? Would they go on NetMoms? So Craig's mentioning NetMoms earlier on. That's the sort of places that they will look. So that's where we're going to focus our marketing attention. And remembering as well that all our branding and everything needs to attract that sort of person. A lot of people, when they sort of set up a new company, it's just like, oh, you know, we'll market to anybody. We don't care who it is. The problem is you're being too vague and you're not narrowing in on the people that actually want to book you, and you're wasting loads of time and money on just blitzing it out there to everybody. So that's really important. Number 2, who? Does that all make sense? Yeah. Yes, good stuff. Okay, and number 3, and this is probably the most important one. This is certainly the thing that when we started doing this in our business, absolutely revolutionized it. Now, if you take anything from today, I want you to take number 3, the most important. You might already know this, but if you're not doing it, you don't really know it. You might know it in here, but if you're not actually actioning it, you don't really know because you're not doing it. So really, really important. Number 3 is track everything. Now, what we've actually got, we've got a sales board. I say board, it's actually a spreadsheet on Google Docs. But it's a sales board, so every time any inquiry comes through to us, it goes down on the board. If they fill in a form on our website, it's on the board. If they phone up, it's on the board. If we meet someone at a networking event, it goes on the board. Every single inquiry or lead or whatever goes on our board. Now, what we've got, like I say, it's a Google Doc spreadsheet, which is great as well because we've got different staff in the office and it obviously all updates in real time, which is brilliant if you've got multiple people working on it. So it's basically an Excel spreadsheet. Along the top in row A1, you've got the staff name. That's the person that's dealing with the inquiry. So let's say we put Jack in there. Jack's dealing with the inquiry. Step 2 is the client's name. You always want to get the client's name. So client name is in row number 2. Row number 3, you want their email address. So client's name, email address. Row number 4, phone number. Okay, that's how you're going to be able to contact those people. I'm not going to talk about sort of email campaigns. I know a lot of you probably know all about that, but always worth getting their email address. I'll tell you why. Very few people actually book on the very first time that you speak to them. In fact, I think the percentage of like first time is something like about 2%. And about 80% book on the 7th time of contacting them or afterwards. So whether that's via email or by phone or however it is, you always want to keep in touch with those people. I was actually at a networking event yesterday and a guy came along and he was like, oh, I bumped into the leader of the group 3 years ago and he's been emailing me ever since. And I thought I'd finally come along. I mean, he must be been emailed now. Well, it's for 3 years. I mean, that's a hell of a long time. You wouldn't think it would take someone that long to come along, but he's been seeing the emails, he's been reading them, and then eventually he's bought and he's gone along. So it's really, really important that you keep in touch with people via their email. Anyway, moving on. Oh, kind of an extra little bonus point there. So after the email address, you want to know where the inquiry has come from. Really, really important to know where it's from. Because if at the end of the month you can see where all your inquiries have come from, you can look at which marketing is working for you. So you might think NetMoms is going to be brilliant because they're moms aged between 25 and 40 and they all go on NetMoms, and you put an ad on NetMoms and then realise, hey, I didn't actually get any inquiries from NetMoms at all. So why is that? Can I change my ad? Or if you don't track these things and you just get the inquiries coming in, you'll be wasting money left, right and centre. So always put where from in there as well. And then the really important one after that, we have a next action. And I kind of touched on this earlier on with the keeping in contact with them. But we never let someone say to us at the end of a phone call, yep, no problem, I need to speak to my husband or my boss, and so I'll call you back. We never let them go, okay, yep, no problem, and put the phone down. We always leave it so that we're in control of the situation. So let's say they said that. So, oh, I just need to speak to my husband, I'll call you back. I'd say, okay, no problem at all, that's absolutely fine. When do you think you'll be able to speak to your husband? And they say, oh, on Wednesday. I say, brilliant, that's great. You can give us a call on Wednesday. If I don't hear from you, is it okay if I give you a call on Thursday? Now, if they say no at this point, it means they're totally uninterested and they're just trying to bluff you off. In which case, just put a big no in the next box. 99 times out of 100, they will say, yeah, that's fine. So you write down on the board, call back on Thursday. That does two things. First of all, it means you're keeping in regular contact with this client, and you're calling them at the right time when you said you were going to do. And secondly, you're kind of proving that you're a reliable person, because when Thursday comes and you call them back just as you said, you're kind of giving a bit of credit to your company that you deliver on what you say you're going to do. If you sort of said to them, oh, I'll give you a call back on Thursday, and then didn't write it down, didn't track it, and then didn't do it, why would they book you? You couldn't even call them back when you said you were going to do. So what we do all that and we go through it through the month. At the end of the month, we work out all the statistics. So we can see how many parties or how many gigs we got from Google AdWords, how many from Facebook. We can work out our conversion rate. So we can say how many did we book in from those inquiries. We can work out how much we spent on it, so we can see how much each inquiry from each different marketing cost us and how much each booking cost us. So everything that goes in there means that you can work out fully if this section here is all working, because it's all tracked and you can know where to market. Is your message working? it keeps you accountable really for all that stuff, so you can check absolutely everything. Well, that's kind of the 3 points that we have done that has been really, really helpful for us. So just to sort of recap, first of all, positioning, you need to know which market you're positioning to. There's no point having prices here and targeting these guys here. All needs to be consistent. Number 2, once you know where you want to market, who is it that you're marketing to? And number 3, and most importantly, track absolutely everything. I hope that has helped you guys. Hope that's made a lot of sense. That been good? Yeah. Fabulous. Well, thank you very much for listening. I'm Russell Leeds. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Smile, be chat, join for networking.